Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Dana Gibbs, and I am running a program where we all wear CGMs together. So, a CGM is a continuous glucose monitor. It is a little device that helps you know what your blood sugar is at any given minute throughout the day. And it's really, really cool because it can help you figure out a lot of things about your health and your metabolism, and is especially valuable if you're trying to lose weight. And so here's what I see on social media, and I'll just explain to you guys really quickly because I treat thyroid and hormone disorders, and every week on social media, I see another coach or chiropractor or kinesiologist who thinks they have the answer to thyroid weight loss. And it's an interesting phenomenon because they're kind of implying that there's some secret answer that your doctor is trying to keep from you, and it really isn't a secret. Um, but there are a couple of unique things about hypothyroidism that can make this really difficult. One of those things is that the thyroid labs that most doctors order don't catch every kind of hypothyroidism. So, um, if you're just getting a TSH and a free T4, you're not going to catch the kind of hypothyroidism that is caused by stress. You're not going to get the kind of hypothyroidism that's caused by a particular genetic um, variation called a DI2 um, THR92 ALA translocation, which and that's a very fancy name for your T4 doesn't get converted to T3 correctly, and actually can make it very, very hard for somebody to recognize that you're hypothyroid even though you have every symptom. So that's not actually the topic that I came to talk about today. What I really want to say is that that defect, and also being high in stress and high in cortisol, do a couple of things. One of which is to change your metabolic set point, because high stress and high cortisol trick your body into thinking you're getting ready to starve to death. And so it lowers your metabolic set point. The second thing that it does is it raises something called insulin resistance. And insulin resistance is a defect that makes your body cells have a harder time soaking up glucose. And the body cells that have the hardest time soaking up the glucose is your muscle cells. And since muscles are the main user of glucose throughout the day, and your brain too, but mostly muscles, if your muscles are insulin resistant, that means that they can't soak up the amount of glucose that they should, and that glucose goes to other places in your body. It also means that if your muscles need the glucose, then you have to have twice as high of insulin in order to get the amount of glucose in that you need to. But anyway, that defect is super, super common, and it makes you gain weight. I've done a couple of other posts about how exactly this happens, and it's also something that I teach in the live program that I'm getting ready to tell you about. So insulin resistance can make the variability in your blood sugars go higher. And without a continuous glucose monitor, you can't know what your glucose variability is. And a CGM is really cool because it gives you basically every minute where a good approximation of where your blood sugar is in any given minute. And that can tell you a bunch of things. So I'm going to just give you a story of a person. And this person said to me, they said, "Doc, I'm addicted to sugar. I can't stop." And this person had documented fatty liver disease, and they had a lot of abdominal weight gain, and they had difficulty sleeping. They'd even developed sleep apnea, which is a problem that people who have obesity sometimes get. But anyway, this person was like, I just can't stop eating sugar. I just can't make myself stop. And I said, let me see, this is very interesting. We've got your thyroid all straightened out. We've got your other hormones all straightened out. What are you doing with your exercise? What are you doing with your eating plan? What are you doing with your sleep? And we went over, and there were several things that I was like, you know what, these could be improved. We could make this better. But this person was just like, no, I can't stop eating sugar. I eat it all the time. And I was like, okay, well, how about this? How about we try having you wear a glucose monitor? And I'll tell you what, I'll give you a bonus. I'll even do it with you. So we did this together, wore glucose monitors. And what happens when you are wearing a glucose monitor is several interesting things. One, you get instant feedback. If you eat something that's got a lot of sugar in it, say it's a piece of candy, and I'm talking, it can be a small piece of candy, like one Ghirardelli square, and this was my personal experience. One Ghirardelli chocolate square shot my blood sugar up above the maximum that's considered healthy, which is about 140. And it took it a little while to go back down, and then I was like, oh, well, okay, that's interesting. Let me try eating a high protein meal first and then eating the sugar, and boom, right back up again. But anyway, the story is not about me. It's about my person that I was telling you about. So we put these monitors on, and we did it for a week, and it was just like, okay, now you've spent a week figuring out the kinds of things that really shoot your blood sugar up. So let's try something else. Let's try eating a meal and then going for a brisk walk. And how fast do you have to walk in order to have your blood sugar decrease instead of increase? What other kind of exercise can you do that will make that happen? Is there a specific order that you can eat your food in? So say, for example, if you eat your protein first, is that going to make it better? And truthfully, it does. It actually really makes an amazing difference. If you eat high fiber, is that going to make a difference? And it does. What kind of sleep pattern messes your blood sugar up versus helps your blood sugar stay low? All these kind of things. So this person, since December, has lost 18 pounds, and that doesn't sound like a ton, but all of it was from the belly, all of it. And so this person's blood numbers are better, their cholesterol is better, their triglycerides are better. And what did they do? They stopped eating sugar. Why did they stop eating sugar? Because it's like a poke in your, poke in the chest. Hey, don't eat that anymore. You watch that thing shoot up and you're like, oh my God, I'm not eating that again. It is remarkable, the accountability to yourself that you gain by wearing a continuous glucose monitor. So the program that I'm starting tomorrow, I have run it before, and it was really fun. It was really successful. Everybody learned a ton. And what we're going to do is the first meeting, we will get together, we'll introduce ourselves, we'll talk about our goals, and then I will help each person figure out how they're going to get their continuous glucose monitor, because they are a prescription device. And there are companies that you can go online and buy them from, but it's really pretty easy to just say, hey, doc, to your family doctor, hey, doc, I really would like to try a CGM. I have not had a single person have their doctor say no, not one. So that's really been great, and we help them figure out where to get it for the least cost. And then they come back. The second week, we all get on camera and we put our CGMs on together. And I'm wearing one now, so I'll just show you what it looks like really quick. Let's see. There. There it is. And I can't show you my phone because I'm actually talking on it. But it's remarkable how easy it is to wear this thing. I mean, see, I can bash on it. I don't feel anything. I can wear it when I'm swimming. I can wear it when I'm working out. I change it every 2 weeks. Even when I'm putting it on. And here's the little device you put it on with. It stings for a second. It's not a bad stinging, and and then you don't feel it anymore. And so it's really kind of cool. But so we do that all together on camera. We coach each other. And it's like, oh, I'm squeamish about needles. I'm like, oh, come on, you can do it. Boom, it's done. I help you figure out what kind of cover patches you're going to wear. Help you figure out what you're going to record, what you're going to keep track of for the first week. And I ask people not to change anything for the first week. Just do your normal life, do your normal activities, and let's see what happens. Now, if this person is one of my patients, I have them connect so that I can actually look at their data. If they are not my patient, then we have a WhatsApp group, and if a person has a pattern on their CGM that they don't understand, they post it in the group, and we talk about what that means, and then we go on to the next thing. And then each week I am doing about a 10-minute educational vignette on a different subject that I have found that's related to the information that you can get from a CGM. And one of those is just what's insulin resistance? Why is it important? Why is it important to know what your blood sugar level is, even if you're not diabetic, even though you're not diabetic yet, is the caveat that I ought to put out there, because that diabetes is on the rise, and it's a really devastating and yucky, frightening disease. Anyway, so then the next week we talk about diet. We talk about diet changes that you can make and why fructose is so important. And I know people don't know, fructose is a kind of sugar molecule that is in table sugar. It's in high fructose corn syrup, which I'm sure you've heard of. It's in a lot of different fruit. It's in corn, obviously, but it's in a lot of stuff. And we talk about what exactly is the trick that fructose plays on your body that leads to insulin resistance, and why it's so important to stay away from that, and what to eat instead. So that's the second week. And then the third week we talk about exercise, and specifically we go into the different kinds of exercise that are good for your body. We talk about interval training, we talk about weight training, we talk about zone 2 cardiorespiratory fitness, and how you can use the CGM to help you optimize what you're doing for your exercise, which is really, really neat. And then we go out for a week and we try it and see how that's going. Then the third week, we talk about sleep, and we talk about optimizing our sleep for better metabolic health. And I give lots of tips for, okay, here's what you can do if your sleep is not optimized. And it's the simple things that you start with. Now, for my patients, of course, hormone imbalances are a huge problem with getting good sleep. If you are lacking progesterone, if you're lacking estrogen, you will have night sweats, hot flashes, restless, disordered sleep. And so we get those things right and set right. Thyroid, same thing. Night sweats are horrible. This phenomenon where you go to bed and your hands and feet are so cold that you can't fall asleep. I help people with that in my medical practice. And we talk a tiny bit about that when we talk about sleep, but really this is for everybody who wants to sleep better. Then the next week we talk about stress, and we talk about how cortisol leads to insulin resistance, and how different stress managing techniques are really helpful, and give some resources for that, and some simple breathing techniques and some things like that. But anyway, and then the final week we talk about supplements, and we talk about nutritional deficits and how they can make it hard to manage sugar. They can make it hard to get sleep. They can, I mean, there's so much out there now about nutrition, and you can go and learn that from a lot of places. But I really want to cut it down, and a lot of nutrition advice is really, really complex, and I really kind of cut this down to bare bones, and I say, okay, these 5 things you must be on. If you don't, for example, omega-3 fatty acids, if you're not somebody who eats fish 2 or 3 times a week, then omega-3s is something I strongly recommend. There are a few other supplements that are particularly for helping manage elevated stress and cortisol levels and some other things like that. But anyway, so over that 5-week program course, we get together every week and we talk about our insights from the monitors. We talk about questions that we have or things that go wrong or troubleshooting that's going on, and how to get those things managed. So if you've been curious about wearing a CGM and you're like, yeah, but I don't know how, and I don't know what I would do with the information, this is the program for you. And today is the last day to sign up. It's on my website, www.danagibbsmd.com/join us, or you can look in the courses section and find it there. And this program is really inexpensive. It's meant to be an introduction to how I work and how I do my medical practice. So it's only $149. It's a really fabulous deal for what you're getting. So I would love to have you on there. Like I said, we're starting tomorrow at 7 p.m. It'll be every Monday at 7 p.m. Central, which is 8 Eastern. Hopefully that's late enough in the evening that my West Coast people can come on after work and not miss too much of it. So anyway, www.danagibbsmd.com/join us. Hope to see you there. It's going to be so much fun. All right, guys, talk to you soon.